Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into the absolute cutting edge. Yep, surprisingly practical. Science behind living longer and, more importantly, living better. Now, I want you to imagine something for a second. Imagine celebrating your 100th birthday. Pretty cool, right? But now imagine still being completely healthy enough to walk, travel, laugh with your friends, and truly enjoy that life. That right there is the ultimate promise of the science of longevity. And today, we're going to break down exactly how that might actually be possible.
Okay, let's just quickly glance at our roadmap for today. We'll be hitting 5 key areas. The 12-year question, why we actually age, secrets of the centenarians, 2 powerful daily habits, and finally, the future of health span.
All right, let's jump right in with Section 1, the 120-year question.
So I really want you to picture this. You're blowing out 100 candles on a birthday cake, and you're still completely active, vibrant, and totally independent. You know, for almost all of human history, reaching old age was incredibly rare. Just a few hundred years ago, making it to 40 was a pretty huge milestone. But today, millions of people are regularly reaching their 80s and 90s. So naturally, scientists are seriously investigating this massive, extraordinary question. Could humans routinely live to 120? Like, what if 120 just becomes the new normal? Are we going to hit some kind of hard biological limit? Or is the secret to a much longer life already hiding right there in our daily habits?
Well, extreme longevity isn't just science fiction. 122. That is the exact age of Jeanne Calment, a French woman who holds the record as the longest confirmed human lifespan. Literally 122 years old. For decades, researchers kind of scratched their heads wondering if 122 was the absolute, impenetrable biological limit of the human machine. Today, though, opinions are actually completely split. Some scientists believe, hey, we could routinely reach 110 or 120 as medical advances compound. Others think, well, we might eventually hit a biological wall. But here's the one thing absolutely everyone agrees on. We have way more control over our longevity than we typically think.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 2, why we actually age.
To understand how we can potentially stretch out our lives, we really need to look under the hood at why our bodies break down in the first place. Aging isn't magic. It's not just a ticking clock. It's really just a physical, biological breakdown. Every single second, you have trillions of cells inside your body working overtime to repair damage, generate energy, and fight off disease. But over the years, these systems just kind of become less efficient. Your cells accumulate damage. Your DNA develops copying errors. Chronic inflammation starts to creep up. That gradual decline in your body's ability to repair itself, that is what aging actually is. For centuries, we just accepted this as an unstoppable force of nature. But today, scientists are starting to look at aging as something that might actually be treatable.
Now here's where we see a huge, absolutely crucial paradigm shift. The ultimate goal of modern science isn't just a longer lifespan. Because, let's be real, living to 100 means very little if you spend those last 20 years miserable in a hospital bed. No, the real goal is extending your health span. Health span is simply the number of years you remain healthy, active, and independent. It's all about adding life to your years, not just years to your life. The dream we're chasing here is living longer while staying functionally younger for as long as possible.
So how do we do that? Let's move to Section 3, Secrets of the Centenarians.
We don't have to just rely on lab theories here. We have real-world proof walking among us right now. Centenarians are those remarkable folks around the world who have lived past 100 and are still mentally and physically sharp. We're talking people who still garden, walk miles every day, and cook all their own meals. Scientists have spent decades studying them, and honestly, the most amazing takeaway? Their longevity doesn't come from some magic billion-dollar pill. As you can see, there is exactly zero expensive, cutting-edge lab technology involved in their success. Instead, literally 100% of the routine comes down to simple, everyday behaviors. They move naturally, they manage their stress, they have incredibly strong social connections, and they eat relatively simple diets. The secret isn't perfection, it's sheer consistency over decades.
Okay, so let's get super practical. Section 4, 2 powerful daily habits. How can you and I apply this empowering science to our chaotic modern lives today? Well, imagine I offered you a completely free medicine that improves heart health, strengthens your muscles, boosts your mood, and slashes your stress. You take it, right? That medicine is just walking 10,000 steps a day. The compounding benefits over time are honestly incredible. Within just days of walking regularly, your brain gets more oxygen, and you'll notice way higher energy levels. Give it a few weeks, and your blood pressure and circulation start to improve.
Give it a few months, and your risk of heart disease, diabetes, and obesity drops significantly. Walking actively slows many of those biological aging processes we talked about earlier. Consistently hitting those steps is literally one of the closest things science has ever found to a true anti-aging treatment.
Now that's what we should add to our day. But what about what we should take away? Sugar. It is everywhere in modern diets, right? And eating too much of it places massive biological stress on your systems. It drives that chronic inflammation which, as we now know, accelerates biological aging. But look at what happens if you just remove added sugar for a 30-day detox. Your energy stabilizes, and most crucially, your inflammation plummets. When your body isn't constantly fighting off diet-induced inflammation, it can suddenly redirect all that energy back to critical cellular repair and maintenance. It's essentially taking your foot off the aging accelerator.
Let's look a little further down the road now. Section 5, the future of health span.
So, what does the high-tech, cutting-edge science of tomorrow actually hold for us? Well, while centenarians are doing this naturally, scientists are racing to replicate and enhance it in the lab. We are talking billions, with a B, billions of dollars pouring into longevity research right now. There are massive leaps happening in AI, genetics, and biotechnology. Researchers are studying molecules that can actually help cells clean out their damaged parts and looking at how specific genes influence our lifespan. The ultimate goal here is beautifully proactive. It's all about detecting the underlying markers of aging and repairing those damaged cells long before the actual symptoms of a disease ever have a chance to show up. We're talking about shifting the entire medical model from treating an illness after the fact to treating aging itself.
But, while we wait for that incredible sci-fi future of AI and biotech to fully arrive, we really have to anchor ourselves to this core truth drawn from the world's longest living people. Longevity isn't built in a laboratory, it's built in everyday life. It's such a fantastic reminder that the biggest, most impactful takeaway from all this cutting-edge science is actually surprisingly ordinary. When you group all these habits together, you get a really powerful, everyday longevity blueprint. Your most potent anti-aging tools right now do not require a prescription. Number 1, just move your body naturally throughout the day. Number 2, eat wisely, manage your stress, and for goodness sake, prioritize your sleep. And number 3, which honestly gets overlooked way too often, build strong relationships and find your sense of purpose. The people who live the longest rarely rely on a single magic trick. They just build lives that support health day after day, year after year. So, the power to extend your health span isn't locked away in some billion-dollar lab. It's right there in your hands. The choices you make today are going to directly influence your health decades into the future. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one vital question to think about. What simple, healthy choice are you going to make today?